Hello, this is Asian Christoph, and joining me today in this Outpost episode is Jack Rabbit, aka
Hey,
Alex.
hey
Alright,
guys, how's it going?
so, you know what day it is?
It is May 30th.
It is
Not
May
enough time.
30th. Okay, it's been a good fucking 10 years since Gaben
Are you ready for a miracle? Are you ready for a miracle?
teased us about another Half-Life. So speaking of those video game delays, we've recently have heard the news, sad news really for me, about the delay of No Man's Sky. So this is how this thing came about. Earlier this month, we heard some news about there were just rumors then about that No Man's Sky might receive a delay. So it is confirmed that it's going to be delayed all the way till August 9th. So
Just about a week later than previous release.
no, actually it'll be a month.
A month.
Last time I heard, they're releasing the game around June 21st. Not really too late, but unlike some other games that we're going to talk about later. So, all right. Now there has been a lot of recent delays in the video game industry. Alex, you want to cover some of those examples
Yeah.
for us?
Yeah, so if we look at what the previous games that were going to be released, we kind of see a repeating trend. Like, for instance, Uncharted 4 got delayed. Mass Effect Andromeda got delayed. Zelda Wii U just got delayed. And, like, Dead Island 2, the sequel, also got delayed to later this year, whereas it's supposed to come out earlier.
Yes.
And if we look back to where we've seen previous delays, we kind of see a trend that most people delay their games to optimize them better. Like as Shigeru Miyamoto said, a delayed game is eventually good, a bad game is bad forever, which is probably part of the reason why they delayed Zelda Wii U. So if we look at the games that have been delayed, we kind of see a repeating trend. For instance, Watch Dogs. Watch Dogs got delayed due to high ambitions of Ubisoft, which led to that long delay time. However, what we got was a subpar game that was really disappointing than what we previously saw at E3. And then probably the biggest example of a game that got delayed and still came out bad was Duke Nukem Forever.
Took them 14 years.
Yeah, that got stuck in development hell for 14 years and got critically panned at its release. So it's pretty clear that Shigeru Miyamoto's quote doesn't apply to all games because
Right.
Duke Nukem
exactly.
Forever is bad forever. So it's really hard to tell what can happen with these delays.
Right, okay. So yeah, back to No Man's Sky. We talked just a little bit about the delay of No Man's Sky, but we didn't know that the gaming community is so freaking toxic. Alright, so alright, like I said earlier, the source responsible for the delay, for reporting the delay is Kotaku. Now, the editor, by the name of Jason, okay, I try to pronounce this, Schreller, whatever. Jason reported this news about No Man's Sky's delay. Back then, it was still a rumor. However, on Twitter, he has received death threats from the Reddit community. Not only he got death threats. The director of No Man's Sky, which is Sean Murray, who's the head of the development team, he also got a few death threats over this issue. Now, we can see from this point, though, we can see that this game is most anticipated, but also has some toxic community. I don't know, but
Yeah, it's like a lot of games that are highly anticipated kind of get a negative response when they are delayed.
right, and it's natural to think that way. However, if you do not release anything about it, the delay, sometimes might help you, to deal with the community. Like for instance, GTA 5. The game was originally released on the September 17th, 2013. So but it's not until April 14th of 2015 GTA 5 had a PC port released. Now, it's natural that it's taking them that long because obviously there's a you have to deal with a PC port. You gotta think about a way to transform all those pretty much the whole game onto the PC structure.
Yeah,
So that definitely is taking a lot of development time, and eventually the GTA 5 is released on PC. And for those who bought the original, the 2013 console version, there's a little like compensation. If I remember correctly, this game had to release 3 times. First one on the let's say the past gen consoles. Second time is on the current gen consoles, and the third one is on PC. So many people have already bought the game twice, and their PC port released, and they're like, "Oh fuck me! There's gonna be do I have to buy it 3 times?" So yeah, that's just kind of interesting, this whole event. But the game's still running pretty good though. GTA 5 Online is making them a lot of money.
Yeah, I think GTA 5 is one of those rare cases where the game that was released actually kind of, had a big success. But like if we look through like the reasons for the delays, like most of these are understandable. Like they're trying to optimize it for say a separate console. There might be drama going on within the dev team. For instance, if we look at Half-Life 2 and the hacker case where the guy hacked and leaked Half-Life 2 source code.
Right.
And then, console transformation where we're trying to make a game that's either going from console to PC, PC to console, or is going through different consoles as they're being acquired by new, own developers of those consoles.
Right. So, how should we as gamers respond to the delay though? Because we know from now on games are gonna have. It's almost like a formula. It's almost like an epidemic of delayed games. We expect them to have to release delayed games from now on. So how should we respond to this as gamers?
I think the biggest thing is that we just kind of have to like be patient and just really just wait it out. Because like as we have seen, if we go back to the list of games that have been delayed into this year, like there have been a lot of games that have been delayed. And most of them are, usually big budget titles that have been, hyped up to that point. So if a game is being hyped up to, such a critical success, we have to kind of expect a delay to be able for them to meet that hype. So really, we just kind of have to wait it out and just make sure that we don't pull a No Man's Sky and just start sending death threats just because a game gets delayed by another month.
Yeah. So I believe that the community can get toxic at times, and that's how gaming community has been in the past, I don't know, decades. But like you said, we gotta be patient because we don't know what these developers are going through. Like let's take the No Man's Sky's Hello Games studio for instance. Their studio was by a river, last time I remember. So, earlier during the development cycle of No Man's Sky, their studio was flooded twice.
Yeah.
All the data were lost. So, I can imagine how...
That they would have to, kind of start.
Yeah, how much impact that can be. Yes, so, I don't know. I feel like it's easier for this... Okay, so we talked about how we should respond to this. I'm thinking that the developers should at least sometimes, I don't know if this would help them or not, but sometimes explain what they're doing. So I'm just gonna try to find that article, which states which has a statement. Okay, so here it is. This is a quote from Sean Murray. As we approach our final deadlines, we realize that some key moments needed extra polish to bring them up to our standards. I have had to make the tough choice to delay the game for a few weeks to allow us to deliver something special. It is very vague, All right.
Yeah.
Says something special. What is that? So why don't you guys tell us? Why don't you guys tell us what that is? I know this could be a industry secret. You don't try to try to somewhat control the hype, but why don't you guys tell us just a little bit hint of what that is? Let us know what you guys are working on. Maybe that'll be better for the developer and the community.
Right, because like we could understand if that the game isn't like finished, or if there are bugs that still need fixes, or the engine's not working properly. But like if you're just trying to like, okay, I'm not saying like we don't want like a good experience with our game, because obviously we do, but you kind of have to. I think it's really hard because you don't want to reveal too much about your game before it's released,
right.
but at the same time you don't want to leave them in the dark and kind of just leave it to suspicion. So
Right.
you kind of had to find that middle ground. Whereas, like, say that the game will become better, but you can't just say like they're just creating something special, because then you're kind of putting the bar to a point where you might not be able to reach it.
Yeah.
It's a parallel that's probably going to be very hard. I'm even having a hard time explaining it. So obviously it's not very obvious of what it is, but you kind of have to try to find your way to that middle.
Right. Okay. So yeah, that kind of sums it up. We just gotta have a good attitude. I mean, most of us are not going to have a good attitude because you know how people on the internet are. But yes, that would sum up this episode of Outpost. Again, this has been Asian Christoph and Jack Rabbit.
0984.
Yep, aka Alex. The next episode of Outpost will be delayed because we're preparing something special. All right. Don't kill us. Don't.
Yeah, we'll see you in 14 years.
Yeah. All right. Peace out.
See ya.